got the whirl of doom. Good afternoon, everybody. How are we? I hope we are all well. I'm just doing my check to make sure that I am live in the correct place. It says I am. And there we go. Right, we can turn that off. Come away from there. There we go. So, are we enjoying this gorgeous weather that we're all having? Well, I say all. Us in the UK, we are. It's been hot. We're not used to it like this, are we? But yeah, it's been nice. As long as you've stayed inside, kept yourself cool. Yesterday, we went out yesterday to our Wednesday club as normal, me and Hayden, and it was okay. You know, we were out, we were in the car with the aircon on, but we sat outside at the pub in a shady bit, and there's a bit of a wind. So yeah, that was nice. But we popped to get a little bit of shopping, and by the time we got back, like late afternoon, we got out of the car and I was like, my gosh, it's hot now. And I couldn't cool the house down. It had been shut up all day with the curtains closed and what have you, but yeah, it didn't start to cool down in here till, gosh, about 8:30, 9 o'clock, till it was feeling a bit cooler outside. But today's a lot nicer. We're overcast here today. In fact, there's grey clouds above, which is nice. But yeah, it's a lot cooler. So that's nice. I've still got the fan on. The door open. It's nice that I can have the door open. And there is quite a breeze out there. So yeah, enjoyable today. Enjoyable. On the day that I'm stuck inside all day, you know. But never mind. Right, so this week I've been sharing projects with the Delightful Witches Suite, and that's what we're going to use today. But I'm also going to incorporate Global Design Project, GDP 509, I believe it is. I did write it down and my piece of paper's vanished. Yeah, 509, I found it. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Gosh, I'm suffering terrible with my sinuses. And there's no rhyme or reason for it. It can be in the middle of the day, it can be in the morning, it can be in the evening. Don't know. But hey ho. Yeah, thought we'd incorporate their colour challenge for this week. And we've got colours of Pool Party, Poppy Parade, and Darling Duckling. So it's one of the new in colours. And while we mention in colours, don't forget we have got our 15% off all in colour products: paper, ink, refills, pens, ribbon. And it's also on some other products because they've got the in colour in them, like the washi tape that we've got, the big wide, that's in there, and I believe there's some others. So yeah, take advantage of that. So right, we are going to switch cameras. There we go. So here's our colour palette. This is what we're using. And I've been inspired by a card that actually turned out it was for another global design project, just totally by accident. But it's by Sumo Moore, I think is how it's pronounced, Mohr. I follow her a lot. She does as well as lots of other demos, but she does some gorgeous projects. And this card's inspired by Cased, if you like, a card that she did. I can't remember if it was like earlier this year or the end of last year. But yeah, so we'll get cracking and get crafting. You don't want to listen to me gibbering on. So we've got the Delightful Wishes stamp set. which has got the florals and lots of sentiments, and then we've got the dies as well to go along with those. So we've got plenty of product here to be crafting with. So I want a piece of scrap. I've got some scrap basic white, so I can do some flowers. And grab my foam mat for stamping because they're photopolymer. That one's no good. We use a foam mat just to give us that little bit of springiness to be able to stamp with. And I need a bit of grid paper, just a scrap bit of grid paper that I've got. Right, so I need 3 flowers, and I'm going to do my flowers in Darling Duckling and Poppy Parade. And the stamps, we've got 2-step stamps, and I'm going to stamp off. So I want 3 of these, and I'm doing the infill stamp in the Darling Duckling. There we go. And then I'm going to do a detail stamp in the Poppy Parade. Now, let me just... I figured this out earlier and now I've lost it, I think. It's that way. Goodness. I think it's that way. Telephone. I don't even use my telephone. Right, this is going to take some time to work out again, isn't it? Ah, there. Right, I found it. Right, so I'm going to stamp that off and stamp over here. Trying to line it up as best I can. I'm not that bothered if it's not perfect, and that's nowhere near. That is not the right way. Why am I did this earlier and did it straight away. Let me try doing it the other way around. Let's see if that'll help me. Right. So that was that way. I've just done that in the wrong. Oh dear. Oh well. It won't hurt. Right, that's not that way. It's annoying, isn't it, when you've done something? Oh, because I lined it up earlier and it was perfect. And I was like, right, that goes to that, that goes to that. That looks like that. So I think we're there. Yes, right. So do excuse me if you end up with my head in the shot. But I want to get right over so that I can get it looking something like. There we go. We've got it now. Like I say, it doesn't have to be exact. The stamps themselves, it's not made that exact, but you need to get it so it's on the right petals. Otherwise, it does look a bit odd. There we go. That's better. Right. All that to stamp 3 little flowers. But as you can see, they do look cute. And with that one, that was the one that I did wrong. And you can see that it is totally off and nowhere near where it should have been. Like I say, I practiced earlier because I was trialing colours, and found it more or less straight away. And I was like, oh, that's simple to line up. And then I couldn't, for the life of me, find it then. But we're there. Right, just give those a clean. Like so. I'm just going to bring my light down a bit, see if that will help. Maybe it's my light that I can't see properly. Right, so we're going to die cut these, because there is a little die for these flowers. Obviously they're quite simple, so you could fussy cut if you prefer, but I will die cut. I don't mind fussy cutting. It's one of those things. I know there's lots of people that really don't like fussy cutting. I don't mind, it depends what it is. I've created a card that's ready to go out next week. And I've fussy cut a lot on that. I was getting rather fed up with fussy cutting the same image over and over. Alright, so I'm going to line that up. The die is a lot easier to line up because there's this big gap here. And it's quite simple to line that up. Dear, my nose started running now, so I don't think I've got any tissue here. Do I have tissues? I have everything else around. Oh, I've got a hanky. What's this hanky? Do excuse me. Sorry about that. It's been fine all morning. And then just because I'm going to come on here, it decides it's not playing ball with me. There we go, just die cut 3 of those. So if you've never done Global Design Project, or you don't know what I'm on about, it's a group that put out a challenge every week. It's on Facebook. You can go and check them out. But they do a challenge every week, and all you do is create your project and just put the hashtag for them or tag them in your project on your Facebook, and they'll share it, and they pick a winner each week, which is nice. I used to participate weekly, but it's one of those things that I haven't done for a while. Right, so we've got our 3 little flowers, and then I just want a basic white layer, which, looking in my file, I haven't got. I've used them all. I tend to keep some usually on hand, but if I end up cutting one, because I'm cutting one, I shall cut the sheet and cut 4. I'm just cutting these to standard layout, which is 10 by 14.4. That's what I use. So it's 0.5 centimetre smaller than a card front. Different people use slightly different measurements, and that's okay. There is no strict measurements to what you must use. It's just to make the most out of an A4 piece of card. My cards are half sheet of A4 folded in half again. It's quite difficult to cut exactly because it's 29, is it 29.5 or 20, something like that. centimetres, and so it's hard to cut half that, but I just do them at 14.5. At 14.9. I know others do it at 14.8. Right, so I'll have one of those, and I am going to trim that down a bit smaller. So I'm going to trim another centimetre off. So it's 1.5 centimetres smaller, just off two sides. One on the width, one on the length. I've got a small sheet. There we go. Right, then I'm going to bring in my pool party. I'm going to do a bit of blending for our pool party. I want a blending brush. I don't know how dark what's on here. It looks like it's pool party anyway. I'm just going to dab it off so I don't get a harsh mark where I start my blending. I'm just going to do circular motions just to give it that little bit of colour behind where we're going to put our flowers, etc. I don't want it too dark. I want it a bit bigger. And there we go. I'm quite pleased with that. That's enough. This is turning out to be more of a case, I think, than an inspiration. I looked at the card the other day and I thought, right, I'll do that. Well, I think the actual card is stuck in my head rather well. Right, so we want leaves. That's okay. We all like to case people. I love casing people, especially if it's a design that I really like. And there's nothing wrong with casing other demos or anyone as long as you give credit. You know, don't try and make out that you've created something when you've actually, you know, got it from someone else. I mean, I don't honestly believe there are many totally unique designs out there anymore. Hi, Carol. Just popping on, waiting for window. Ooh, new windows, dear. Just on about casing and how we love to case. If people case me, I think it's a real honour. Wonderful one. But yeah, just on about, you know, giving credit where it's due. It's like the meaning of case as well, isn't it? There's two. You know, some people say copy and share everything. Other people will say copy and selectively edit. None of them's right, none of them's wrong. Yes, measuring up. Oh, lovely. I remember when we had our new windows, it was so nice. So nice. All right, so I'm just going to space those to see. I don't want them too much on top of each other. I think that'll be just right. Perhaps should have started a little bit further up, but that's okay. We can deal with that. Actually, I'm going to bring in this little stamp. There's just 3 little speckly. I think it's for the inside of flowers, perhaps. But I'm just going to bring in a little bit of that, just to stretch it out that little bit further. go. That's better. It just stretches the whole bit a little bit further. Right. I'm going to attach my flowers. I'm going to attach those with dimensionals. I'll just grab those and pop one of those in each of the middles, thereabouts. And because they're the large dimensionals, we only need one on each. I want that one there, and then the others are just going to go from there. So that one can be under there. Yeah. Wondered if I should have brought it round a bit more, but that's okay. And then that one there. Okay, there we go. Really like that. Kind of cute. Right, I'm going to pop this on a layer of, I think I'm going to go Poppy Parade. I don't use a lot of Poppy Parade, you know. And it's a gorgeous colour. I don't think I've got a scrap big enough. Oh, I might have. Oh, not quite. It's about a millimetre too short. We shall cut another one. And I'm going to cut this at my standard. No, I'm not. Because now I've confused myself. So that was 9. So I want 9.5. So it's a centimetre smaller than my card base. So 13.9. So I just want a thin border of this. I might even chop it down a bit more. I'm not going to get rid of that just yet. I might chop that down a bit more because that's very bright. In which case, oh no, if I cut 2 mil, that'll leave me 3. So I'm just going to cut 2 mil off. Each one. Well, 2 sides, each top and bottom. There we go. So just get that slither of a border with it being such a bright colour. There we go, like that. So we'll glue that on there. Like so. I'll centreize that. That's why I like the wet glue. So we've got some wiggle room. Though in this heat we don't get much wiggle room. Are you hot with you, Carol? I bet you are, aren't you, down there? I was saying it's a lot nicer today. Yesterday it was a little bit too much. Right, so we're going to do the wishing. And the die comes in 2 pieces, so you get in the actual word wishing, and then you get a background. Oh, you're muggy today. Ooh. It's warm here, but it's quite. We haven't got any direct sun, so it's not too bad. Right, so I want white on. I think I'm going to go Darling Duckling and see what that looks like. And if you've been watching me a while, you'll know that last time I did something like this, it took me a while to decide what actual colour looked best. But we'll give this a go. We've got Darling Darling Duckling. I like Darling Duckling. It's a yellow without being a bright yellow. That's not too bad actually. It's like I say, it's not bright in your face like Daffodil Delight. Right, I want a piece of basic white, which I've got some here. And hopefully this piece is just big enough to pop it on. Yeah, excellent. I always keep a little piece. Oh, that's moved. Right, I am going to tape that down because it's so close. And you know what I should have done? I'm going to do it. I've remembered my adhesive sheets. Now, mine are the older adhesive sheets. We have newer ones now, but they're exactly the same. It does exactly the same. Right, so just peel that off where we need to peel it. I'm not in camera at all. I'm just going to peel this off. Yeah, I bought these a long time ago when we did the Sizzix ones, and just kept forgetting to use them, and it's only been more recently that I've been remembering. It's just one of those things. Chop along there. I'm just cutting along where my card is underneath. There we go. That's stuck on there now on the back. Yeah, so mine are the old style, but we do sell the new ones now. Right, and it just makes it so much easier to stick it on. You forget to. Yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? I think because I don't store, like, my glue's here, my tape and everything's in a pot just off here. My tape, my dimensionals, my glue dot. But because the way those are so tall, they're filed in the trolley at the top with a lot of other stuff, and I just forget to grab them. I know our sheets are smaller, aren't they? The new ones. So if they'll fit in my pot with my foam pads and that'll be a lot better for me because they'll be there. It's just we don't have room, or most of us don't have room to have everything right at hand. Right, we'll get rid of that manky piece of grid paper, and then I'm just going to push this out. Now it is a lot more sturdy because it's got the adhesive sheet on the back. Struggling for words today. Now you have to be careful because when you punch this out, you do get the little dots on the tops of the eye. So I always leave them in there and wait until I've got this on there. And actually, I really like it in the yellow for the Darling Duckling. I do say it's a dirty yellow, but don't get me wrong, I love it as a colour. But I do think compared to Daffodil Delight, it's a dirty yellow. Right, so I'm just started to peel that back, and I'm just going to add this on really carefully to where it should sit, and it goes more or less directly in the middle. I'm just going to do it bit by bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, with something as delicate as this, it is a little bit fiddly. You too. Right, the dirty yellow. I've got to say, I'll probably say it quite a lot, to be honest. But I have got to say, I do love these in colours. I think they work so well together. I don't think I've ever had in colour selection I don't like. Obviously, there's some I prefer more than others. But these I do love. Right, with my little dot, all I did was rubbed it between my fingers a little bit and the backing came off. I mean, if it is that you struggle, you can always just add a dot of glue. The last one. But yeah, I think these colours are very fresh in an odd way. But I think they're quite young, if colours can be quite young, as a collection. Whereas the last ones, I love them, don't get me wrong. And I use them quite a lot, especially Summer Splash and Pretty in Pink. But they do kind of remind me of an 80s, 90s kind of girls' teenage bedroom, if that makes sense. Yeah. But I think these are very now. But what do I know? I'm nearly 50, so, you know, my thought of what's a very now probably isn't what the youngsters are saying is very now. Right, so we've got our wishing. I'm going to add that on there, like so. And I could have put adhesive sheet on the back of here, I probably should have. But this is that little bit wider to be able to get a little bit of glue on. And I don't put it all over, just in the wider bits. So there's a couple of dots holding it down. It's a card front, it's not as though it's an album or something that's going to be continuously opened and closed and wanted to be kept. I mean, I'm under no illusion that with my cards, no matter how long it takes me to make them, people put them in the bin once they're done with them. And that's fine. Because people do that, I then get to make more. Right, wishing. I love that. And we're going to have, what shall we have? The sentiments we've got are, you were here, lots of love, all the best, you well, your happy birthday. I think I'm going to go, if it fits right, all the best. Because it's quite an open card then. But it's where I could have it there. Where's my red stripe? Right, what would it look like on a red? Embossed in white. Just don't want it to take away too much from this. Quite like that there actually, if I did it on the red. Right, let's have a go. We can always change our mind if we need to, because it's only a piece of card. That's very skew whiff. Alright, so we're going to heat emboss in white. Grab my embossing buddy. Grab my white embossing powder. move some of these things out of the way. I need my Versamark ink. So I'm going to rub over with my embossing buddy to get rid of any static or greasy marks. So I don't want my powder sticking where I don't want it. Right, let's ink this up. Make sure it's nicely covered. And I'm going to do it towards the centre so that I can trim it off at the sides as I need to. There we go. It looks good. I'm going to bring in a scrap of paper, a card. Oh, picked up the wrong thing. I've got masking sheets here and I forget about those too, because they're filed in the same place. I must admit, I don't do a lot of masking. Just try that again. I've got a piece there that I don't like. That might be okay once it's heated. Alright. That's it. Don't want to waste any. Though a pot will probably last me, I don't know how long. Right, so I just need to unplug my phone a second and plug in my heat tool. And I'll just heat this up. Excellent. And what I was on about is there was some powder on it that was inside the hole in the eye, and I was like, oh, that looks a bit as though it's too much. But when you've melted it, it's sort of, because it melts but it clubs together, if that makes sense. It doesn't just spread, it clings to each other, so it's pulled it away from there, and it's just where I want it, where the Versamark was. Right, unplug that and plug my phone back in. There we go. Alright, so we've got our nice little sentiment now. And now, see, I could just put it across. Actually, that doesn't look too bad, does it? I'm thinking if I do put it there, it brings the eye to it, but is it just that a little bit too much? It's overpowering that. Whereas there, it's just an added bit on the card, isn't it? And then that's, yeah, that's where we're going to go with it. Do I raise it? Yeah, I think we will. We'll have it raised. Now I know that it is slightly long, so I will put a dimensional right on the one end and then a bit away on the other. I'm using mini dimensionals which fit perfectly on here. Alright, let's take these backs off. There we go. Right, I'm just going to pop that on, level with this end, and then I can trim that off there to the right length. There we go. And then I want basic white card base. I can grab one out. There we go. Pre-scored. I do try that, you know, if I'm cutting a new sheet to do a card base, I do the other one as well ready. There we go. We'll just add that. Catch you later, Carol. I'll add that on there, and I'm going to put it flat because we've already got dimensionals on, and we all know about our postage. Okay, and then we just want embellishments. Do I want colour? Which I've got Darling Duckling. I'm not sure. I'm thinking either iridescent pearls or good old rhinestones, which I stopped using for a long time, and then I used them again the other day. I think we'll go with the iridescent pearls. And a little bit softer. Just have a few of these dotted. I think I need some more. Couple there. And over here. That's it. I think that's enough. Just those three. Yeah. And there we go. That's that one completed. So like I say, let's use the colours from the Global Design Team Project Challenge, which is the Pool Party, Poppy Parade and Darling Duckling. And then it's a case of a card from Sue Moo, who also did this card for a previous Global Design Team project. So yeah, I really like that. I'm happy how that's turned out. Right, so let's tidy up a little bit. Just clean our stamps. And we'll do another card. Just a real quick card this time. Using different colours and everything else. I'm going to use some of the paper. I think we've got some paper. Here. Right. So I wanted to use this. This is my favourite piece of paper. I thought I had another piece. I've only got a couple of pieces of this left. And I thought, there's some of this. Don't ask me why those are the ones I've chose, but it is. Right, so I want a circle. A white circle for my card. And I've got some in here. These are pre-stamped, pre-cut images. That one might be okay. There's nothing wrong with using bits that you've already got out done. Right, so I want that, and I'm going to stamp on here with my branch. That's my first one. So So we're going to stamp that in Peking Pie. Because I'm using the papers, I'm going to go with the colours from the papers. So I'm just going to stamp that across there, like so. Oh, doesn't go up there, does it? And then I want my stamp for my flowers, and this is the background bit, and then we've got the infill that goes that way. These ones are a little bit simpler to see which way it goes up on top. So I'm going to use Lemon Lolly as it is in the papers. And this isn't a colour I use very often. I'll just grab my grid paper because I like to just do a test to make sure. Yep, lovely. She says it's not a colour I use very often, and like the middles totally. I think I used it for a class. Right, and then we can line this up inside here. Now, there's one of the flowers that's like a V. I don't know if you can, that one there. And that lines up with this here. And then I do believe that there's another little V here, little bud, and that lines up with the very end. That's how I believe they go. I may be totally wrong. If you know better, excellent, do what you know. But that's how I believe they line up. There we go. That's got a nice texture because it took me quite a while to get it on there. It's given me a nice texture to that, which I'm good with. And Daffodil Delight. Now hello! Another office day. Oh no. We've only just started on the second card. So, you know, all I've done is decide what paper I'm using, and we've stamped our branch and some flowers. So I'm going to go Daffodil Delight. Now my Daffodil Delight pad has come totally out. It had started to lift when I had it, and I could have got it swapped, but you know what? It works. And one day I will get a new one, but I'm okay with it. Right, so I'm just going to line this up as best I can again on here. That's about there, that's about there. Just go for it. Oh, I think I did well. It's nicely lined up. So yeah, happy with that. Okay, and then we're going to need to do our leaves. Where are my leaves? Those are my leaves, and I believe they go something like that up there. Get a block. Now, there's two leaves together at the very one end of this. Up here, a medium and a small one, and they go right on the branch. There's a little leaf here on its own that just sticks out from nothingness, and then there's this leaf at the very bottom which also goes along the branch, I believe. Again, that's how I believe it goes. Right, and it's garden green in here, if I remember rightly. No, it's not. It's old olive. Oh, there you go. That told me, didn't it? Alright, so we'll ink up our leaves. Again, I'm just going to test. Yep, that's good. And then, oh, how have I got that on there? Don't know where that's come from. Oh well, we'll cover it, don't worry. Alright, so twist it round so it lines up, something like, and there we go. Yeah, I got a little blob, the pool party on there. That's just fluff. I don't know where it's come from, but we won't worry because I can use this little splodgy stamp. Oh great, thanks. Got me on the big screen, just where I want to be. And we'll grab pool party. And it's got pool party on it. We'll grab pool party. And we'll stamp some of these around. And that will somewhat hide that then. There we go. We can just dot some of these about. Beautiful. There we go. Excellent. So that hides my little blob and just finishes that off. I'm not sure I like being on big screen. Right, so then I want a standard card layer. And then I'm going to have a panel of this. I'm going to have to do it as a panel because this is the big, or I could have a strip and a strip. I do like strips. Or I could put a strip either side. That. Yeah, we'll do a strip either side of the strip. You know. Alright, so I'm just going to roughly, well, I'm going to cut it first to 14.4, which is the length I need, and then cut it roughly in half. There we go. And then cut this to 14.4. I need to pop and see you the weekend, Jewel. One, because I need to see you, but I need my alphabet dies for class next week. I need to pop in and grab them at some point if you're about. Right, so I'm just going to keep that quite thin. There we go. Right, around 1/2 centimetre. Big screens means you can actually see what I'm doing instead of phone screen. Have I made the paper? No, this is DSP. It is very matchy, isn't it? But no, it's exactly the same image, just smaller. Yeah, they've done. It is exactly the same, I think. No, it's not exactly the same. It's near enough. It's very, very similar. It hasn't quite got the same. But yes, it's lovely DSP. I haven't got that much left now, to be honest. I believe it was in the summer catalogue last year, if I remember right. And then it went on to the online exclusives. But it's lovely. There's a whole suite. And it's got a lovely gingham vellum, which is on the last chance on its own. The whole suite's moved over to there because the vellum and the ribbon at the suite are retiring. So they're on last chance. So they're at a discount price at the moment. don't know off the top of my head how much they were, but they are discounted. But the rest is still available. Not going anywhere as far as I know as yet. It's a lovely stamp set. The flowers look gorgeous in a variety of colours, which I've been trying to share with you all week, like the different, how different it looks in different colours. Oh gosh, you'd forgotten about it. That's all right. May be able to pop it in. Has got the kids tomorrow. Oh, lovely. The Wild Zoo. I take it that's the one at Ankney Green. If I'm organised enough and remember. It is lovely paper, yeah. It's just nice and fresh, and like I say, the gingham is gorgeous. This is the gingham. It's floral and gingham vellum. Like I say, I haven't got a lot of this left. You get 2 sheets of it. That's my favourite one, which is why I've only got that little piece left. And then there's that one, which is also a really pretty. And then, yeah, there's the blue gingham. But yeah, they're lovely. Lovely. And on the back of there's a yellow. On the back of that, there's another yellow design. And then we've got a green Hessian, which has got flowers. And then a yellow background. And some stripes and dots. So that one I've been using for footy cutting the flowers out with a gingham. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Go online and have a look. It's online. It's the stamp set and bundle is Delightful Wishes, the bundle. And if you click on that, it'll pull up everything else that's within the same. It shows you products that are within the same suite. But the DSP is the Floral Delight. So yes, go and check that out. Right, so we'll have a little circle on here. And I will go dimensionals from that, because we like to have dimension in our cards. And if Royal Mail weren't so as they are, I would have a lot more dimension in my cards. But it's not cheap to send a card with lots of dimension on it, because they charge you a large letter. Right, I'll get rid of these backings. There we go. Right, pop that. Now, do I go in there, on there? I like it there, off centre. There. Okay, and then we'll have a nice wishing on here, I think. I might just have happy birthday. Yeah, I'm just going to go happy birthday. And on here we have the stamp that goes under the wishing that says you a happy birthday. But I'm just going to ink the happy birthday and pop that on, I think it'll work. There's no definite, is there? But we'll try it. We'll use, actually, I've got that edge bit that's bent. It's the thing with photopolymer stamps, you can put them on, and if you're not careful, they bend. So it's always best to lay them out so they're flat, and then pick them up with your block. Right, and we'll do it in, I think, Old Olive. Just ink that up. I am going to try and just ink the happy birthday. I could mask it off, but I'm being lazy. But I think I've just got the happy birthday, and we'll have it right to the bottom. I can always trim it. Excellent. There we go. Got a right mess again. Why do I always end up with a messy desk? It's known I'm a tidy crafter. But not when I'm live. Line it up, chop that off. Get it in now. You need a wedding card. Going to have a busy night. Aquafit then upstairs making a card for Saturday. I think I'll be too tired after tomorrow. That's not messy. I mean, well, yeah, okay, Joe. You are on another level to me. This is messy to me. Yeah, I really like that. Nice little happy birthday that we can just pop across. I am gonna double dimensional. This will go to some by hand, not in the post. Okay. Oh, come on. Goodness. Let's pop that on there. Fab. Oh, excuse me. And then card base. We could go pool party or lemon lolly. I haven't used lemon lolly in a long time, and I think that's quite nice. So let's. I obviously didn't do as I said, and I didn't ready create my card base. I wish I had the room to be able to store enough so that I could have pre-made card bases in every colour and just have them in a box already. But that would be another box to have to store, and unfortunately I haven't got the space. Right, so pop some glue, and then we've just got to embellish, and we're done. There we go. Find my embellishments, and I think we'll go. The tiny bee trinkets come with this week, and I think we will go with tiny bees. That's so funny. You said excuse me right after I burped, after finishing. First litre of the day. Oh my life. I've had 2 cups of tea at breakfast, and then I'm halfway. I've drank half one so far. So yeah, I'm nowhere near. Right, so we've got these tiny, tiny little bees. They're absolutely gorgeous. They are metal, but they're quite light. They're part of the suite, and I do find the best way is with glue dots. Now the glue dots are bigger than the bees. We'll have 3 because we've got them and we need to use them. Not that I need to use them up, but I have these things and then I don't use them. They sit there and sit there because I'm like, nope, can't use them, don't want to run out of them. But then I order more stuff and I've got everything then. So yeah, I need to use. Yeah, they're bigger than the bee, but you can screw the glue dot up, fold it over. So you don't have to have it poking out. There's no need to be cutting glue. We don't want to get glue on our scissors. That's just horrendous. I've got 2 and our third one we'll have down here. There we go. So we've got 3 little bees. How cute is that? And there we go. That is today's cards. Let's pop that away. Let's make a bit of room. You say that's not messy. No, it doesn't look messy here. It's everywhere else. If I slightly bring you up, there's stuff everywhere. So yeah, you just see that nice little bit that I let you see. Right, so here's our 2 cards for today. So our first one is for Global Design Project, their colour challenge, and it's Pool Party, Poppy Parade and Darling Duckling. And we've cased a card from Sue Moore. I'm sure that, I hope that's how you say it. I hope I'm not butchering her name. That's terrible. Yeah, that's that one. And then this is our second one, using my favourite paper from the suite and just making use of different products. You know, I mean, there's lots of other products in the suite that I've been sharing this week, but wanted to make 2 cards, totally different, using different products on each. So yeah, there you go. Right, let's switch you back. Say hello. Oh dear. Still not messy. Okay. Thank you. It's messy for me. I need to tidy before I do anything. Yeah, I enjoyed those. So don't forget, I'll be live tonight at 7:30. If you're free to join, I will be doing a scrapbook page using the delightful Wish You stamp set again for a scrapbook page. But I'm kind of, what do I do? Because the stamps are quite small. But we'll find something. Don't worry. I'll think of something. I'll just wing it. It won't be a problem. So yeah, if you're free, join me then. Don't forget, we've currently got the in colour 15% off. Anything in colour products, even products that have got in colours in them, the new in colours, the 25 to 27. So that's Timid Tiger, Cloud Cover, Strawberry Slush, Secret Sea and Darling Duckling. Yeah, so some great bargains to be had there. And also the Last Chance has not long been, well, the beginning of the month that got updated, and there's some fabulous bargains in there. So yeah, that's everything I think that I've got to say. I'm going to go and drink some more water, and I'm going to have some lunch. I might even sit outside because we still haven't got any sun, so it might be quite nice out there actually. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye.